Don't worry, the fur is not real. But I'm not either. Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy, and welcome back to Hats or Rats, the only unofficial RuPaul's Drag Race review. Today we'll be reviewing the premiere episode of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World. Our queens were challenged to serve charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent in a variety show, and on the runway, the category was, I'm a winner, baby. And somebody better start dialing 911 because there was a robbery in broad daylight. We've got so much to cover today and I can't wait to break it all down with you. But first, I've turned on all the lights in here because there's something that I want to show you I'm super proud of lately. My skin. And that's thanks to today's video sponsor, Curology. So I would say that I've been blessed with pretty good skin throughout my life, but I've always fought with breakouts, uneven skin texture, and cystic acne even into adulthood. There was just no consistency in the appearance of my skin, but that's changed a lot in the past 73 days at the time of recording this that I've been using Curology. I use their pH balanced moisturizer and cleanser twice a day, and at night before bed I apply my custom Curology formula. After just a few weeks of using Curology, I noticed that my breakouts were less frequent and less severe. Any new breakouts I get are very mild and mostly gone within 24 hours. But if I notice anything particularly nasty popping up, I just throw on an emergency spot patch. Plus, I've also noticed the texture and tone of my skin is more even overall. I've also noticed improvements in some of my crater acne scarring that I've got on my temples from my teen years. Fine lines on my forehead are less visible, and overall, I'm so happy with the way my skin looks when I look in the mirror. And no, my skin isn't perfect, and Curology isn't a miracle working product, but I love using Curology because it brings a consistency to my skin on a day-to-day basis. Signing up for Curology was simple, and you can start by clicking the link in the description of my video. On their site, you'll take a quick quiz to assess your skincare needs and submit 3 selfies to a Curology skincare provider. They'll take a look at everything and then create a formula just for you. And when you click the link in the description of this video and use code BussyQueen, you'll get your first month of Curology for free. Just pay $5 for shipping and handling. Thank you so much to Curology for sponsoring this video and bringing consistency to my skin. Now, before we get into the dirty details of what happened in the challenge and the looks on the runway, I do want to briefly touch on the entrance looks. I mean, come on, these bitches look so stunning it'd be a crime not to. My top 3 entrance looks goes to Monique, Jimbo, and Blue in that order. I have only 2 rots here. Jujubee, who once again is an LBD, hi All-Stars 5, and Cheryl, who I think looked great from a distance, but once you zoomed in a little closer on her hole, you did see that there was some fabric not fitting quite right. But I really am just nitpicking here. I think all of the queens looked fabulous in their own right on the main stage as they walked in, which I love that little switch up of how they did the entrance. We also learned in this intro segment to the season that not only is there no grand prize money and no challenge win money, but the winner of the season's earnings from the song that they get to record with RuPaul as a prize will be donated to charity. Which, don't get me wrong, I think that is a great gesture. However, having no stakes on the line here besides titles, I think does come into play with eliminations, which we will get to later. Now let's jump into the talent. First up, Mo Hart, who came to this episode with some Mo shade. They were so playing up the drama between the American queens and the rest of them when they were all in the workroom together, and I was living. I'm like, yes, give me some controversy in my reality TV, thank you. Specifically when she called out how crunchy Blue's hair was. I was like, girl, was that even necessary? I don't know, but I'm living. In the challenge, we see Mo giving us this like Tina Turner fantasy, which I was gagging for, singing what is basically a gospel song. She said, I'm gonna throw the shade in the workroom and take the children to church on the main stage. As for what I thought about what she did here, it took me a second to warm up to what she was doing, but as the heat of her performance slowly intensified, I enjoyed it more, and she ended up at a burning hot. Like if you're gonna do a serious variety or talent show, this is how you do it. And on the runway, Mo is giving us a little nod to the regality of the whole situation of her being on All Stars. It is so clear and apparent to me that she is taking this so seriously. She said, there is nothing I'm gonna hold back. I'm gonna bring every yard of fabric from every fabric store in the US and the UK, and I'm gonna put it in one dress. And it's gonna look so sickening, these judges are gonna choke. This garment is one of the most sickening looks, I think, to grace the RuPaul's Drag Race stage. And it is just so lovely to see Mo galvanized and truly at the top of her game. I've got a feeling we've only seen a peek of what's to come. Mo, I want Mo. This look was hot. Next up, we all make choices. It's Janey Jacké. Girl. I love my girl Janey. I really, really do. If you're watching, close the video. Now, this challenge was rough. Firstly, the hair. This was like that cheap Party City bridesmaid's hair that you would see at a bachelorette party. Secondly, the song itself. What in God's name was that? Maybe in a dark club, martini bar, or something, this would work. But on a brightly lit stage, and not only a brightly lit stage, but the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, it just didn't fit. And then the looks. And girl, were there some looks here. The first one, fine. Revealed to that green Tia Coffee Tasha salad mess, which revealed to the like comic book t-shirt dress, which revealed to 2 bodysuits. Nothing matched, nothing was cohesive, and I didn't understand the story of what was happening or why we were doing all these reveals. I was just so lost. And mostly this was just painful for me because as someone who really enjoyed her on Drag Race Holland, I just know that she can do so much better. To her credit, the one redeeming quality of what she was doing, I will say the dancing was at least clean. But the performance overall, even though we needed no subtitles, was still a little lost in translation. This was a rot. But for as bad as her challenge performance was, her runway was just as good. This is what Janey does best. Cool, calm, collected, elegant, and high beauty drama on the runway. Is this the most original pageantry type of look that we've ever seen? No, but it's done so well. Particularly, I loved the nude illusion that she had on, was so close to her skin tone. And I think the sheerness of that fabric helped that illusion really be sold on the runway. This look was hot. Next up, she's much better and she's not gonna let you sleep until you know it. It's Baga Chipz. In the challenge, she started off slightly off sync with her background track she was singing to. I say singing loosely here. In some parts, it was more like screaming, which was part of why what she was doing was so funny. And I think ultimately this one just kind of boiled down to, if you like Baga, you're gonna like this performance. And I like Baga. I enjoyed the performance. I laughed. And the thing is, queens coming back to All Stars using their same catchphrases from their original seasons can feel a tad tired. However, the way Baga did it here was so self-aware and campy and just in your face about it that she was just like, yeah, I know this is stupid, but guess what? I am going to make it even stupider. I'm gonna take it from level 10 to level 100. And that's why I enjoyed Baga tonight. This performance was hot, or should I say, much better. And on the runway, why do they keep booking me for these chicken shit gigs? She's a fucking Oscar winner. Oh, this look, girl. I don't know what was going through her little British head, but mama, that's not an Oscar. I literally said Joan of Arc, and I'm so glad Michelle saw that too, because I was like, literally what's happening here? And the funny thing about the Oscar trophy design is that the little Oscar man is actually holding a sword, but it's not something that I ever actually knew. Technically speaking, yeah, she got the detail right. She is gold. And when she tells us that she's supposed to be an Oscar trophy, you're like, okay, Oscar trophy, runway theme is I'm a winner, baby. Everything does make sense. But the execution, I think, just was a little lacking. And because I didn't quite get it immediately, I am gonna give this look a rot. That said, on its own, as Baga just being a ridiculous person serving a ridiculous campy look, I kinda liked it. Sue me. Next up, oh wow, it's Jimbo. So I thought it was really interesting that we start off this episode learning that Lemon and Jimbo are not quite as close as maybe some of the other sisters from that season. A little foreshadowing in the edit, we love to see it. Anyway, on to the nightmare fuel that was Jimbo's challenge performance. Oh my good God. Oh my God. My original notes while I was watching this, I just wrote, what the f***? But that's only all I wrote because I was literally screaming in laughter and banging my fists on my desk as I was reacting to the episode. Even if you were somebody sitting at home that did not get this, you have to appreciate that Jimbo did her own thing for this. This, dare I say it, might have been the biggest risk that we have ever seen in RuPaul's Drag Race, and boy did it pay off. What Jimbo did here was pure 100% unadulterated stupidity, and I loved every second of it. And I overall loved the little on-the-nose joke of her talent being a ham. Literally, she threw ham around. It really takes a special type of entertainer to make me laugh this hard. This performance was hot. And over on the runway, let's talk about it. Jimbo's outfit is evoking a queen piece from a chessboard, and this garment is one of the most intricately detailed and beautiful things I have ever seen. I adore this. It's sickening. It says I'm a winner. It says I'm a queen. It says I'm weird, crazy, and I've also got some money. You know this thing was expensive. This is like I just won All-Stars garment. That is what this is, okay? This is not just, here's a runway. This is a phenomenal piece of Drag Race history. This look is black, white, and hot. paint all over. However, I do think that we have to address that there were some people in online spaces discussing the way she painted her face. Sure, you know where I'm going with this, but they were saying it was blackface. Now, her face is, technically speaking, painted black. Yes. It is. But blackface is a very specific thing with a historical context behind it that is done with intention to mock black people by using stereotypes. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to be an expert on what is and isn't blackface. That's not my role. However, I wanna say that I didn't perceive any of this as making fun of any group of people. She very clearly was going for some sort of monstrous demon energy with the way she painted. I was curious though what some queens in the queendom were saying about this, and so I popped on into Bob's little Twitter Spaces live that she did after the episode to break some stuff down, and this is what Bob, Kim, and some other queens had to say about it.
There's controversy online as to whether or not Jimbo is in blackface. Jimbo's face is black. That is not up for debate.
But her intention is she's not imitating a black person. She's a creature.
Yeah, I mean, her titties are clearly not black and her hands are not black, and she just has like black makeup on her face. So I don't necessarily think this is blackface. I do think that white people should probably just think twice about this kind of thing. Like, ask yourself, do I really want to have a conversation about blackface being centered around me specifically?
Which I think are all great points, because more than anything, I don't think that the black paint on her face elevated this look. It really just, to her detriment, distracted from the elegance and beauty of every other part of this look. Next up, Cheryl Hole. In the variety show, she gave us this sort of bitch track, rap track, self-diss track. It was very self-aware, and she kind of made it clear, yeah, I wasn't so great originally, but I'm here to slay now and also make you laugh a little along the way. I think there was nothing really super original about what she did here, but what she did was done well. I really would have liked to have just seen one or two more elements to this bitch track, but then again, I guess you do run the risk of over-committing and being too ambitious like Lemon did tonight. So for me, Cheryl's performance was a very safe, hot. And on the runway, Ru gave this look 2 stars, which I think is about how many it deserves. It's a very beautiful, if safe look on her, and it's tough because this look on a regular season might be the best on the runway. But the level of talent and the commitment that these other queens have brought to the runway tonight is phenomenal. And honestly, some of these other looks are just totally overshadowing this, which is a pretty yet simple dress. So overall, she looks gorgeous, but the 2 stars on her chest were kind of distracting, and honestly, like, 1 would have been fine. See Jasmine Kennedy from last week on Drag Race, but 2? It's a lot. I just don't think this screams I'm a winner, baby. I'm gonna give this a rat. Next up, she's been around the world in every season of Drag Race and is back again. It's Jujubee. And I was really glad that we got to see Jujubee's audition tape for Queens of the Universe in her main challenge tonight. She did a slow track ballad type of song, and I think what she did was good. I mean, she has a decent singing voice. That said, I was bored to tears. And it was strange because it was like, Jujubee, we've not only seen this before in your prior run of All-Stars, but it just feels like what she was doing wasn't that inspired. Even the lyrics of the song were just like, I'm back for more, I'm back for more, I'm back for more. Kind of haunting, actually, when you think about it, considering all the conspiracy theories about her being trapped in the World of Wonder basement, forced to record season after season. I was bored, and I agree with Jimbo here, I would burn this dress. So I'm gonna give this performance a rat. And on the runway, I'm getting aubergine, I'm getting eggplant, I'm getting purple. Jujubee's dress here is not a bad dress. This look is not bad. Jujubee looks pretty, but the look is boring. I just feel like we've seen this from her many, many times before. And again, if this is your 4th or 5th time on a season of Drag Race, I want to see some elevation. That's all. And I really didn't understand in this dress how she was literally holding it open the entire time, just showing that plain black panty. Like, what was that? What was that about? I didn't get it. This look was a rat. Next up, she's from Bangkok, It's Pangina. Miss Pan Pan delivered us some high energy, campy singing and dancing tonight. And I overall really enjoyed what she did. Not only did we get to learn about who she is in her song, but we also got to see that she's a total goofball. Because you're kind of thinking, okay, this is just a typical bitch track at first. But then as she gets more and more into it, you realize how jokey and campy and dumb she's being. Everything she was doing was just complete ridiculosity, and I loved it. Pangina, this was hot. And on the runway, she's giving me Space Princess from the lunar colony in the future of Thailand, right? Like, it's very Queen of the Futuristic Galaxy. I thought it was really interesting and fun how she also referenced her culture here with the piece on her head. The only thing I would have changed maybe was the ponytail, which didn't feel quite right. Like, maybe there was a better option of integrating some hair into this look. Hell, I think she would have looked really cool bald with this giant headpiece on her head. Just a thought. But this look is hot, hot, hot. Next up, my favorite primary color, blue. So Blue's variety show performance is a classic puppets on a stick dancing trick. This is very common in street performance, and we've even seen this bubble up on shows like America's Got Talent. And this viral video, if you remember, of the Queen of Hearts. What she did wasn't necessarily original, but it was original to her, and I enjoyed her drag adaptation of this. And it was the first time we saw something like this on Drag Race. Plus, I love the way that she played with the puppets on the sticks being like actually there, talking to them in the song, and then getting nasty with Ru. Smart. Very, very smart and funny. Plus, her performance overall had a great balance of letting us hear the jokes and then pausing to enjoy the chorus with some dancing. Give me an H-O-T. Blue's performance was hot. But on the runway, I wasn't living. And I usually love Blue's look, so this kind of caught me off guard. And it's not that I think what she did here was bad, I was more just confused. I'm like, what are we giving? Neon football player from Sparta meets troll doll? What in the hell is this? Like, it overall just didn't say, I'm a winner, baby. And the other confusing thing that I want to point out here was, surely somebody's original prompt said monochromatic. There's just no way that we saw so many monochromatic looks without that being in the prompt. Conspiracy theory time. And I'm saying all of that to point out that Blue's look was pretty much the only one that wasn't monochromatic. What do we think? Give me a comment. Anyway, this troll doll fantasy thing was not a winner for me tonight, baby. It's a pat. Next up, girl, she came back ripe. It's Lemon. Firstly, I do want to say that I agree with the judges that Lemon's delivery was missing a little something. It read to the camera as if she was kind of just going through the motions of performing rather than being excited to showcase her talent. But I don't think what we were seeing as viewers was a lack of dedication to the performance. I think it was actually that she overcommitted for this. There were too many lyrics and too much choreography. There simply wasn't enough time for us as viewers to sit and have each piece of her performance marinate a little bit. And I think she was honestly having a little trouble keeping up. Girl, who wouldn't? It was a lot. That said, I think the lyrics in her rap were really fun and smart. I particularly enjoyed the dig at the Puerto Vallarta gays with making them sink like a party boat, and the reference to Canada's Drag Race Season 1 with we all go at the same time, maybe we should use it better. The other component of Lemon's performance that I think was to her detriment in the end was copying the box step jump from Aj's performance back in All Stars 3. You know, it's like, at what point does RuPaul's Drag Race become too self-referential and reductive as an art form? Because when you do something like what Lemon did, you are almost challenging yourself to do it as good or better than the person that did it originally. And ultimately, she didn't. That said, considered among all the queens tonight, I don't think that this was a bottom two performance, and I want to applaud Lemon for her original songwriting and effort that she put into this. It was just maybe one too many slices of entertainment from her tonight. So I'm gonna leave this performance at a warming up. And on the runway, wow, wow, wow. I was living dead and reborn for this runway. This pale yellow shade is so gorgeous. And yes, she lives up to that lemonade from start to finish in this episode. She is obsessed with the color yellow, but more than that, I think she is obsessed with branding herself. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. There was literally nothing sour about this runway, and not only did she look stunning, but she played up the camp factor with a little lemon peekaboos on top and brought us the drama of a performance with the confetti acting out winning a pageant on the runway. Wow. She showed us her sense of style and sense of humor, and I cannot believe that Michelle looked her in the eyes and told her that she could have elevated this look more. Pearls clutched. When I tell you my whole puckered up, girl, this look was hot. And I think Lemon should be so proud of what she did on this episode. And hey, being a robbed queen isn't the worst thing to be in the fan base. And the bottom two were Janey, Jacké, and Lemon. Definitely not the bottom two I would have selected. I think instead of Lemon, I would have swapped in Jujubee, because that variety performance was just so much more of the same that we've seen consistently from Juju, and that runway was mediocre. Our two winners of the week, and I'm really happy they went back to the Classic All-Stars format for this, were Jimbo and Pangina. And I really do agree with those two as being the tops. Blue could have maybe been a substitute here for one of them. And they've got a lip sync, and I did react to it and the challenge and runways over on my Patreon at patreon.com/BussyQueen. That's my members only website where my patron family gets exclusive member benefits like early access to my videos, access to exclusive videos, and access to the Bussy Queen Discord server. You can join by clicking the link in the description of this video. See you there. But my general thoughts, I'm gonna call shade. I kind of feel like Jimbo threw the lip sync. She was doing a lot of walking back and forth from one side to the other side, to the back, to the other side, to the other side, instead of really performing the song. And maybe she didn't know the lyrics and she was doing all that to distract from that, but it really didn't work out for her because she ended up bumping into Pangina multiple times while she was over there serving a really solid lip sync. And the thing is, whether she did a lip sync or not, I actually wouldn't be mad at a queen for throwing a lip sync on this show because there are literally zero stakes. In fact, there is a negative incentive for winning this lip sync. I would have looked Rupaul right in the eyes and said, if you're gonna make me eliminate my sister from Canada or the only representation from Drag Race Holland, then you're gonna need to pay me at least $20,000 to give you a good lip sync because I don't want the blood on my hands. But that's just how I feel about it. Anywho, Pangina wins, no surprise here, and she chooses to eliminate Lemon. Wow. I was sitting there genuinely shocked. I'm like, how in the hell would somebody think, after watching that variety show, that Lemon would be the one that would need to go home? So yeah, this episode was pretty wild. Could not believe what I was watching unfold. That said, I enjoyed it a lot. Really, I was proud and excited of all these queens for what they did. And what an amazing showcase of drama, talent, runways, and more drama. Let's not pretend we don't love drama. Kind of makes you wonder if Lemon's elimination was just some crazy setup from the producers to get some drama out of the show, or not. And as for my hottest hats this week, my challenge hottest hot goes to Jimbo, and my runway hottest hot goes to Jimbo. I also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hots over on patreon.com/BussyQueen, and in the challenge, they voted for Jimbo, and on the runway, Jimbo. Oh, wow. As always, though, I'd love to know what y'all thought about this episode. Who deserved to win the challenge? Who had your favorite runway? Who deserved to be in the bottom? And who should have gone home? And finally, I want to say thanks to you for watching this video. Today's video sponsor, Curology, for keeping my skin consistently clear. You can check them out using the link in the description of this video to get 1 month free. Just pay $5 shipping and handling. And I want to say thanks to my generous patrons for making my channel possible and give a special shout out to Joe Friedman, Brylo Tushwush, Andrew Winba, and Mitchell Gardiner, who've all just joined my Patreon at the hot tier, and Benjamin Thomas, who just joined my Patreon at the hottest hot tier, and Alial, Angel, Cyrus, Felicia, Hector Simancas, JB, Jeffrey Steinberg, Josh Marchant, JP in Dallas, Laura Lisette, Matthew Burns, Matthew Bauer, Maxie LaWow, Miss F, Neely, Scooby Snacks, Sailor, Steven, Tom Jaco, Tom Young, Topher, Triton, Wheelie, and Yeeji, who were all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier. See you later. Love ya.